Hey Shooby-Doodlers, how are you doing? This is a sketch I did on the beach a couple of years ago. It was right in the middle of COVID, in fact. This is my great niece and my great nephew. And here they are in the water. But, this took very little time. And I'm going to just kind of show you the basics of what's going on here as I try and remember myself. So if you look, the mum has kind of got a head. And it's sort of about blocking these kind of shapes, really. And so she's kind of, she was expecting another little grandnephew. So here he is. He's going to have his, let's start with a round shape like that. So the hat's going to be about there. And reaching over and, really kind of doing weird things with, with the leg there, which is going to come down there, and we're going to have arms about there. So we've got arms, and in fact this is a bucket, and those are the basic shapes that are going on there. And we got the kind of the sea, and we've got an horizon over there, and we've got some kind of rocks and stuff going on down here. So when you are sketching, this is not a fine art, precision kind of thing. It's getting an essence of something. And it really doesn't matter if it's all completely wrong, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't look like them. And in many ways, this doesn't look like them at all. But there was something about it. And my niece sort of, she said, "Oh God, can I have a print of that?" and anybody looking at it would go, "Oh, I know who that is." And it's getting a nous, getting that kind of. Let's do these little hands like that. I'm not going to put in any eyeballs either. So I'm going to bring this leg up kind of there. And we're not sort of worrying about connecting lines. The lines don't have to kind of fit. And I'm going to add in, let me do this arm first. So we get a bit of reaching out for the bucket. And we're going to have another leg actually sort of sticking in about there. And then mum, it's getting that angle of the glasses right, I think, is probably the right thing. And funny little nose, funny little mouth. She won't thank me for saying that. And we don't need much for the hair. It's a ponytail. We don't need to say too much about that. And we want this kind of leaning-ish kind of feeling going on. And as I say, she was expecting at the time, so we need a bit of a bump at the front. And we're going to bring that down to like that. And, hands are really, really difficult, so don't get wound up about them. And we can bring this hand in, and it's holding down the bucket. So we're bringing that from behind to the foreground. Let's put the bucket in. And a lot of this is kind of making choices of which you draw first. So you want to draw the bucket first so that you can draw the rest of the body behind there. And we're going to obscure some stuff here with rocks, which is very helpful. And so she's going to have, let's say I'm going to add some extra little things in here which you can't see. Just try and get that kind of look that expecting ladies, kind of the way they sit. Which is a thing about sketching. It's not about taking a photograph. That's the thing. It's about getting a feeling of the moment and the time, and what it's kind of all about. That is the drawing, and I'm taking my time doing that drawing because I'm trying to think, how does that fit? While I'm actually drawing it, I'm looking at them and just kind of saying, what's that shape? Just bang it down. And then when you're on the beach, you just want your little paint set. You don't need much. And this is a Pentel Aquash paintbrush. The water is in the handle. You can take it anywhere, take it on the beach, and it's just ready to go. I'm just going to erase all these pencil lines in the meantime. So if I was just sketching, I wouldn't have any pencil in there. I'd just go straight to ink. So I wouldn't have to do this stage. And actually, while you get your paints and things together, let's just have a quick little break. Welcome back. Now, when you're using one of these water brushes, you want in your other hand all the time, you want to have a bit of kitchen towel. So if you're out and about and you've just sort of had a burger lunch, grab yourself a napkin at the end, because you're going to need it later when you start painting. So my pockets are usually full of these multicoloured, look, there we go, multicoloured bits of yuck. And when I sort of suddenly get the sniffle and I come to blow my nose, people go, oh, that's horrid. You might want to clean your palette. I know I'm going to use sort of blues and things later, so I'll leave that side, but I'm going to clean this side. And then bish bosh, clean the brush. Slightly squeeze, don't squeeze too hard. Now I'm using Naples yellow here, and I'm going to go straight in with the face there like that, and the hands, and I'll probably do all of them like this, straight in. And this is not a colouring competition. I get a bit of scarlet in there, so we get that nice standard British burnt lobster on the beach kind of suntan look, which is very common in this country. As soon as the sun shines, everybody goes out, lies down in front of the sun and gets completely burned. Not a good look, but is what you come to expect. While I'm at it, I'm going to just put the sand in here. And it's as I said, it's not a colouring competition. Don't worry if you go over the edges. Shall I zoom in a little bit, maybe? I'm going to let that bit sort of dry. Actually, I think I'm going to have a bit more Naples yellow in there. Those people who've been watching me for a long time know I love Naples yellow, and I'm just going to put a bit of yellow ochre in there while it's wet. That will just kind of soak in there and just fade in, rather than getting sort of harsh, hard-edged lines. So I'm just going to do a bit more yellow around there, like that. Now I'm going to want the sea, so I'm getting a bit of green, and I'm afraid I can't remember which green this is. I've been having a break and I've just forgotten all the colours in here. So anyway, it's mainly green with a little bit of Prussian blue in there, just to sort of turn it slightly turquoise. And I'm going to just kind of pop that in there like that, over the top of the hat. Cleaning the brush all the time, you see what I'm doing. And I'll clean that there, because I'm going to now get some French ultramarine, and I'm going to squeeze the brush to get a bit of water in there, because I don't want it too thick. So it's all about thin glazes. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of whoosh that in across the top. It's an essence of sky. I'm not trying to paint a beautiful picture, I'm doing a sketch. So I'm going to give him a nice yellow hat. Oh, it's gone a bit green. And I'll get some scarlet, put some little blobs in there while I'm at it. While I've got the scarlet, I'm going to change that bucket to red so it becomes more obvious what's going on. And you're allowed to do that. You don't have to make it exact. You can, it's got poetic license. If you want to really draw attention to the bucket, because that's kind of disappearing with her clothes there, make it red, do something different with it. It's allowed. You're allowed to do whatever you like. It's a snapshot. That's what you're kind of doing. And I'm just going to kind of fill in these bits like that, and maybe a bit at the back there. We're going to want something a bit more. This is neutral tint here, which is like a kind of this is what I use for black, basically. If you've watched me over the years, you'll know I say get rid of black from your watercolour paints, because it's just too dark. Watercolours are very, very subtle medium, and as soon as you introduce black, it's too strong, and it kind of punches a hole in the paper, and it just doesn't look right. I should have done those legs at the same time, shouldn't I? Let's get a bit more neutral tint in there so we get that nice sort of bluey grey. That's probably a bit too dark. I'm just going to kind of paint in these rocks like that. And we need to sort of work a bit on this on the top here so that we get a bit more sort of shade in there. Like that. And we're going to get a bit of shade underneath her chin. And a bit like that. And I'll have a bit more there. We're going to want a nice sort of crimson-y purple top. That will do. And we'll have a few extra little kind of spots and things in the hat. Now I'm going to get some more neutral tint here. And we're going to need some kind of shadow in places. We're going to need some shadow underneath there, probably like that, just adding a bit of extra shade. And then we're going to get shade from these people sitting on the beach as well. I think maybe I just need a touch more blue in here just to make it a little stronger, really, is what I'm trying to do. I think a bit of a stronger colour and a bit stronger under there, like that. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to touch it, because if I do, I know I'm going to ruin it. And that's the perfect moment just to leave it alone. I could, you see, now I'm thinking what else I could do. I could add a bit of kind of hairness in there, but I didn't need to, really. It's a few lines and it's a few colours, but it's really about this thing going on between mother and son, and they're on the beach. It's a lovely day, and it's just taking that moment and sort of creating this loving kind of, classic on the beach moment. What else did I do? Dogs on the beach. And this was actually a different time. This is a few weeks later. This is in, I think I've probably shown these before. This is in SouthWales in Suffolk. People on the beach. And here I sort of spent a little bit of time. It can be quite difficult when you're with friends and family to actually say, can I please have an hour to myself? I want to go on the beach on my own for an hour, or whatever. Or when you're down there saying, okay, you go and play in the waves or something, I'm going to sit here and draw for an hour. And you really need to take that hour or something to just sit and look and watch and see what's going on. And next week I will be doing tennis, because Mrs. Rayner has taken up tennis, and I'm going to go and watch her and her pals play. And I'm taking my camera and I'm going to take my sketchbook. I'm going to do that tomorrow. So I will be showing you live sketching next week. So click up here for that link, and I shall see you next week. So thanks for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to the Sue Renner Drawing channel, and keep coming back for lots more drawing videos every week. In the meantime, keep drawing, drawing, drawing. Practice, practice, practice. And I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.